Hello, Pioneer Ridge Middle School. It's a great day to be a trailblazer. This is Mrs. Rother coming to you from the hub with some really fun updates. Before we get to those updates and announcements, I wanted to share this photograph with you. This is my youngest daughter, Hattie. She's 3.5 and she's spunky and wild and loves to learn, just like so many of you with that love of learning that I've seen. So exciting. And here's why I love this photograph. Look at that face, right? Look at that excitement when she finally unlocked this fun toy at her school. That face represents how I've been feeling in the hub the last 2 months. I have been so excited to check books out, to help you with projects, to team teach with your teachers, to get the space organized and ready for purposeful learning. It's all been just a wonderful journey for me. And just like Hattie has that excited look on her face, I feel that in my heart as well for the excitement that I have for the hub, for the learning, the exploring, the creating, the discovering. It's been absolutely wonderful. So thank you for the last 2 months, and I look forward to continuing to help you with your learning journey over the rest of the school year. This lesson today for advisory, this presentation today has 3 learning targets that I've really tried to highlight the key words, and that's always a great strategy for learning targets, by the way. The first is that we're going to talk about the e-learning pass system. The second is that hopefully by the end you're going to understand Destiny Discover as the really cool tool that it is. And then finally we'll talk about Makerspace. The first part of my update is sharing some exciting, kind of going with that theme of excitement, some exciting statistics. Can you believe that already in 2 months our e-learning pass system has been used 537 times? This data is a few days old, so I bet we're even closer to 600 times, which, it just warms my heart and again builds up that excitement for me. I love that. That number represents 281 learners. So again, I bet we're getting closer to 300 learners. I am so anxious and excited and overwhelmed to meet the other 350 of you who haven't used the Learning ePass yet. Maybe after this advisory lesson, you'll know how to use the system and why it might help you. Really, the hub is a learning space to support all of you, and all learners are welcome. To use the Learning ePass, I thought it was important to review the system. First of all, always ask your teacher if that particular class, if that particular session is a good time to come to the hub. The second is to fill out the Learning ePass in Flex Scheduler. And as long as there are offerings in Flex Scheduler for that time period, then yes, you may come in. And then 3, enter your student ID at the kiosk. And what I've included in this slide is a photograph showing you where that kiosk is. It's a computer that's been set up as a kiosk station where it says learners check in here, and you'll enter in your student ID number. If you're not quite sure where this is, visualize where the printer is on the countertop. A lot of people know that as a landmark in the hub. So find that printer, and to the left of it, right around the corner as you come in the hub, you'll see that kiosk. So always do those 3 steps, please, so that our systems work and that everything's communicating. That the system is communicating with me, that the system is communicating with you, and with your classroom teacher. So again, ask your teacher, make sure there's a space available through the Flex Scheduler, and then enter your student ID. I wanted to highlight step 2, the piece of it where you are going to use Flex Scheduler. If you used the Learning ePass in September or early October, there was only one offering, and it simply said the hub. That information, that data collection point, was too vague for me. I really wanted to know, why were people coming to the hub, and more importantly, how can I support them for that purpose? And so what I've done is create some different topics or different areas where people might be coming to the hub for support. So first is simply a book checkout, right? So asking your teacher if now's a good time to run to the hub for 5 or 10 minutes to check out a book. What a wonderful opportunity to get a new, wonderful book in your hands. You may also be ahead of pace. So maybe there was an assessment or a final piece of evidence for a learning target, so you're ahead of pace with that because you met that or you extended on that. And so you can come to the hub to read and to enjoy that kind of quiet oasis of reading, or you may also be wanting to work in the Makerspace, which again is our 3rd learning target. So I'll come back around to that. You may also find that you are behind pace in a class, so you can use the hub as a place to maybe get back on the suggested pace of your teacher. And so we can help you with some of those learning targets that are still lingering, that maybe you don't understand yet, but we'll get you there together. Probably the most popular thing to come to the hub for is that you're working on something right here, right now in a class, and you want the extra space or you want the resources for that particular project. So that's where it says the hub on pace, working on a project, or working on learning target evidence. And then finally, 2 hours of the day, 6th hour and 7th hour, we do offer peer tutoring where you can sit down next to another Trailblazer learner and have them guide you through the work where you need extra support and have some questions. Our second learning target, remember, was about understanding Destiny Discover. You can tell what I've done is taken a screenshot of the student page, right? Kind of that home base that has so many wonderful resources for you. One of those helpful resources is Destiny Discover, which I've marked here with this red circle. When you click on that red circle, what you will get is a screen that looks like this screenshot. What I love about this is that it has a section, which I've highlighted with that circle, called recently added books. So if you're always wanting to know what's new, what's updated, what's Mrs. Rother getting in on those shelves in the hub, that's a great area to look to see what's coming up, or what's recently, been put on the shelves. Popular titles can kind of answer that question, what do I read next, right? I just read this great book, it's wonderful, I returned it, but what next, right? So you can come to this area of Destiny Discover and see what are other people reading. Because if it's popular, if other people are reading it, it might be a good choice for you as well. It might give you some good ideas. And if you're someone who, I am really, really, really into scary stories and I want to see it, especially this time of the year, late fall, it's always kind of exciting to have spooky, scary stories. Maybe you go to this area here, click on scary stories, click on that genre classification and see what we have. So again, just a really neat tool that is living on that home page for Pioneer Ridge students. A great opportunity to see some of the books that are on the shelves. And then finally, I wanted to highlight Makerspace. The Makerspace is up and running, and you can see right now, kind of focusing in that building theme. So I have some magnetic blocks, magnetic tools out that you can build with. And what I wanted to share is the idea of what is the Makerspace? So here's kind of part of the expectations, or part of what Makerspace is all about. It's to allow you to tinker, make, create, do hands-on learning, do problem solving. Some really fascinating things can happen in the Makerspace. For those fascinating things to happen, you're really making some commitments if you come to the Makerspace. Whether you come from a class, right, and use the Learning ePass, or if you see a WIN offering for Makerspace, you're making some commitments. And what you're committed to is coming to the Makerspace, and you're coming there to learn, right? You're going to use the blocks or the origami paper or the robots to learn something new and try something different. That you will exhibit Trailblazer pride, that you'll think about the matrix, and you'll think about what that looks like in this unique learning space called the Makerspace. That you're only going to use what you need. I mentioned origami before, so only using those sheets of paper that you need for your project, for your learning, so that the other learners here at Pioneer Ridge have access to materials as well. Also, respecting others' work. This is so, so important, that we respect what other people have created, especially if it looks like maybe somebody is partway through a project but they haven't finished it. We're just going to be really, really respectful of that and show integrity and know that people have worked hard on that project, they've worked hard on that learning, and we're just going to make sure that we honor the work that they've put in. And then finally, and perhaps even most importantly, that you're going to share what you learn with others. That you are going to, show me something cool that you built and something that you learned. That you're going to go back to your classroom teachers, that you're going to go back to your friends, and that we spread the learning and we spread the cool things that are happening in the Makerspace. Here's another piece that I think is really fascinating about the Makerspace. Your teachers could take different pieces of the Makerspace into their classroom from time to time. So this doesn't have to be the official Makerspace, right? We want all of Pioneer Ridge to be a space of creating, tinkering, making. That's just such a powerful thing that'll make Pioneer Ridge Middle School an even better place than it already is. So again, coming full circle, coming back to those learning targets, hopefully you understand the e-learning pass, and now that there are lots of different options for the e-learning pass, and really choosing the option in Flex Scheduler that makes the most sense to you after you've checked in with a teacher, and then coming to the kiosk once you're here. Destiny Discover is a great way to do some research and kind of look and dig around and see what are some great books I could be reading at the Hub at Pioneer Ridge Middle School. And then finally, that we have these wonderful makerspace resources that are available to you at different parts of the day, and just that the learning that can come from the makerspace will just be magnificent. All right? I would like to leave you with a trivia question. So here we go. Make sure your advisor is ready to email me. Advisors, get your computers. Here is the trivia question. As of today, November 4th, how many books are currently checked out from the Hub? Email me your responses. Thanks so much for everything. Like I said, it's been a joy. I'm super excited. Have a great day, Pioneer Ridge.